Hi, everybody. I'm Weston. I'll start by introducing my theme for the essay, which was Robin's bipolar attitude toward people throughout tracks. So, a primary example of this is her relationship with Rick, which started off very rough. She really did not like Rick. She dreaded seeing him. He was ruining her trip, and she just did not want to be around him at all. But by the end of the book, after they had talked and spent a lot of time together, she really enjoyed Rick's company. And so I followed throughout the book many examples of people who she didn't like being around at certain times, liked being around at other times, and how she kind of goes back and forth between those emotions throughout the book. The quote I decided to use is comes right at the beginning of chapter 3, and the quote is, "This sudden transition from too much bad company to the prospect of none at all was a pleasant shock, like walking from the din of a busy street into the heavy silence of a shuttered room." So this quote, Robin's completely alone. She's just moved into a new house, and in this new house, she's completely alone. And it's like the first time that she's ever spent any time alone, especially the first time that she's ever owned her own house or been alone in her own house. And so this um, loneliness is something that she goes to really like, and she cites it a couple of sentences later, how she didn't realize how much she desired to be alone. But at this point in time, she had just spent a lot of time with Kurt, and Kurt was a really bad influence on her. He instilled many traits in her that she really didn't like, and she spent a lot of the trip kind of fighting those traits, one of them being aggression. And so she goes from that bad company where there were so many people just telling her to do this and this, and she goes from that to being completely alone, where the only thing that she can hear are her own thoughts and maybe her dog. But she says, walking from the din of a busy street into the heavy silence of a shuttered room. And what she means by this is when you walk through a busy street, you hear so many voices saying many different things. You hear these social expectations saying you need to dress like this and this. She goes from that, which is super loud, tons of voices telling her to do many different things, from that to silence. It's just her, and it's her own thoughts. And this is something she is realizing that she's really looking forward to for her journey, where it's just going to be her, or that's what she imagines it to be at the very beginning. She's just going to think through her own thoughts and prove to herself that she's capable of doing this. She doesn't need anybody else's help. And that's something that she really looked forward to in her trip, this loneliness that she didn't expect she'd be so excited for. And it's at this point in time when she really just wants to be alone. She doesn't want anybody around her. She's realized how dangerous it can be to be surrounded by bad voices, bad influences, and she just wants to be alone. She's come to enjoy the loneliness, and this is going to be a trait that she follows throughout, and that's going to be a big reason why she pushes away Rick at the very beginning.